Hey everybody, welcome back to Dental Unfiltered. I'm Matt Brown. I'm here with my normal co-host, Dr. Andrew Vallo. Today we're going to do one of my favorite episodes, which is State of the Startup. Recently I was looking at some stuff, and I think Doc Vallo might be the greatest startup doc in history. I've looked at some data. He's done 10 pretty close to perfect startups in a row, each one doing mature practice numbers. I think the fact that he provides all the transparency and how he does this and reporting and stuff, I think is a great investment in the dental community. And the State of the Startup's one of my favorite episodes because he goes over the state of the most recent startups and how it went. And I think if you listen to all the podcast episodes leading up to this and then do State of the Startup, it's kind of like an audio how-to manual to get the result he's just going to talk about. So Doc, we're at 10 now. I think right? 10 now. And let's go over State of the Startup with the most recent additions to the group.
Yeah, so some really cool stuff to talk about today, guys. We opened our 10th startup in July. That's our Fort Myers location. It was only open 2 days in the month of July, and I'll get into that in a second. But to Matt's point, we've opened 10 startups in just over 4 years. I will say one of the startups has an asterisk by it because we did actually buy a practice that wasn't doing very well, and it did have some patients. That was office number 9 in Coral Springs. But I will say that practice, when we bought it, it was averaging about $35,000 a month in collections. Our second full month after taking it over, it did about $100,000. So in my mind, it was maybe a jump start startup or a pseudo startup or whatever it was. But it just goes to show that our methods that work so well for brand new offices can also work for quickly growing underperforming practices, which was cool to see. So Fort Myers, office number 10, 2 days open in July. I think I already told you this figure, Matt. So unfortunately, I can't ask you and try to stump you. But I will say it did set some new records for us, and it kind of blew our previous records out of the water. So first 2 days open, obviously there's no treatment on the books. It was all just, we have one hygienist, one doctor, one treatment coordinator, one dental assistant, one office manager. And actually our treatment coordinator and our dental assistant and our dental hygienist were all out for the opening day because they had to give more notice. So we had temps in for those positions, and actually our COO, Manny, was filling in as treatment coordinator at the office for those 2 days. They collected $53,000 in the first 2 days. I think our previous record for the first day, they collected 30,000, 31,000. Second day was like 22. Our previous record for the first opening day was 14,000. That was our best value Riverview office. And funny enough, the doc that we brought in for this practice, he told me, he had kind of met Dr. Polson at the Riverview office, and, we kind of showed him the numbers he was doing. And he's like, kind of lighthearted way, hey, tell Dr. Polson I'm coming for him.
I love the competitiveness in your group. When I come visit, dude, these docs are like, listen, if you want to know what the culture of docs is like I come from the special operations world and we're very competitive. Bro, you've like class A superstar docs that literally want to compete with each other. Your group is full of guys that just want to do the best and they want to make sure they're number one. I love that culture.
The biggest shift I've made in our group as far as hiring goes, at the beginning, I was just hiring docs who look good on paper, had at least a decent skill set, seemed put together, whatever it was. But I'm specifically I'm looking for that fire now. I'm really looking for docs who come across the way that I think I did when I was a young practice owner and associate, where it's just hungry. They've got the fire. They still need to be nice. They still need to treat their team well. They still need to get along. So we want that friendly competition. We don't want that drama competition. We don't want people that have big egos and are just full of themselves. We want that friendly competition, but I want docs that are hey, give me that challenge. I'm going to beat it, whatever it is. So I had high hopes for the office. This is our first time in that area. I felt like Fort Myers was going to be a good area for us to get into. While all of Florida is fairly competitive for dentists, I think that area is a little bit less competitive than the big cities we're in, like Tampa, Miami, Fort Lauderdale. And so far it's proven true. Our marketing is working better there than it has in any other location. So that's really exciting since our marketing was already doing very well. So we are loading the schedule with patients, lots of consults, lots of implant consults, lots of, new patients. We got a doctor there who's, doing really well. I was worried because again, we had our COO in there doing the treatment coordinating, but he was only there that first, week. And then we brought in our actual TC got the start. And I was like, man, I hope she can keep pace. And I'll tell you what, man, she is keeping pace. So it was only open 2 days in July because we opened near the end of the month. And then the last month of July, our doc had already months and months in advance before he had even taken this job, booked a family beach vacation with his family. So, obviously it was not ideal to open a practice, shut it down for a week and then reopen it, but it was what it was. And in all honesty, it kind of gave us some time to work out some of those last final bugs that we needed to for the practice. So it wasn't a huge deal. And in all honesty, he did as much collection in those 2 days as I would have expected in the first 2 weeks. So no issue there. Open back up in August. In the first 5 days open, so counting those 2 days in July, in the first 5 days open, they did $153,000 in collections. That office, just for frame of reference, we've gotten better and better at keeping our cost to open. That's how we've been able to expand so quickly. So actually the last 2 offices, guys, number 9 and 10, I bootstrapped. I gave a personal loan to the our dental organization to purchase office number 9 and a little bit of working capital on top of that. And then office number 10, we cash flowed from some of the other offices in the group, ones that didn't have other ownership interests and things like that. We bootstrapped office 9 and 10. And the reason we're able to do that is because costs are low. Cash flow is pretty good. Number 10, our total cost, because we took over an old Great Expressions office, already built out for 9 operatories, equipped 5 of them. We financed that with the equipment company, so we didn't have to pay for that up front. And I went through we switched our equipment, our large chairs and stuff to Danceroo. They'll give any dentist a great deal because of our size, and talked about giving them our business. They were able to give me a really good deal. But either way, if you're doing ADEC or some of the other big name brands, you could save yourselves a ton of money. I would at least check out Danceroo. So we did Danceroo chairs, delivery units. They also did our equipment room, our mechanical room. We use Banco as always for sterilization. We financed that stuff through Banco as well. There was no construction to do at all. We got some furniture from Wayfair, a few $1,000s for everything. Signage, I think maybe like $6,000 for our signage for the interior, exterior signage. Nothing. It's in a shopping plaza, so we couldn't do anything too crazy with the signage there. Attorney fees, a little bit of working capital. Our total cost to equip 5 operatories, get the space ready to open, was right around $150,000. So it took us 5 days to recoup those costs that it took to open that 10th startup.
Every other question is like, how did Andrew do this? Right? What does Vallo think about that? Because finding you out in the wild is pretty hard, and I'm out there all the time. And I got so many questions about how you do startups so efficiently. And I explained the concept of a shell practice or undervalued practice with equipment in it. And Doc's like, but how do you find them? Honestly, just open your eyes. They're kind of laying around everywhere. Like, I'm driving along in cities. I see a practice and I'm just like, that looks run down and old.
I'm going to interrupt you here for a second. I was at Bulletproof Dental Conference. I like going to all these different things, learning from different people. So I was at that this last weekend. Craig and Peter, I'm sure you guys aren't listening to our podcast here, but I will tell you, you guys did a great job. Love the conference. I met a dentist there I'd never met before, but we kind of hit it off. Similar age kid, similar stories, stuff like that. They're in Texas. So we had dinner with him and his wife the one night. And I believe I talked him out of spending $2 million on a build out that he was planning to do when I told him how we were approaching these practices. And he's like, dude, you just absolutely blew my mind, reframed my way of thinking. Why spend $2 million doing this massive build out that's going to take, all this time and all this stress when I could go find, and he's like, I'm open to different areas. I'm open to different locations, whatever it is. But yeah, some guys, our last 6 offices, I've done 0 true build outs. They've all been second gen. Now, some of them we renovated. Some of them weren't optimized for the number of ops. So we did spend some money. So I'm not saying that, you can just find and all of a sudden perfect, but even the ones that we had to do some renovations on to kind of optimize the space, significantly less money and significantly less time than you would spend to do a full dental, little to no plumbing, little to no electrical work, the full dig out trenches. Typically it's knocking down a few walls, maybe running a few wires, things like that. Doing some cosmetic work. I will never do another traditional dental. It's like I have people now reaching out to me all the time. Hey, there's this great space that would make an awesome dental office in this great location. I'm like, is it already a dental office? Nope. Okay, I'm not interested. So I will never do another traditional dental build out again. So much less money, so much less time, so much less opportunity cost if you can just find these. And the thing is, at this point in time, guys, I don't really care where they're at. I mean, we're trying to keep within reason, reasonable distance within the state of Florida. We are trying to be somewhat strategic there. But as long as it's not too close to another practice and not too far away from where our cluster is, I don't care if it's in this town or that town or this side of town or that side of town or side street or medical complex or shopping mall or standalone. I don't care about any of that. All I care about is it already a dental office? Can I go in without doing a major build out? If the answer is yes, that's the type of opportunity I'm looking for at this point in time. I'm going to run through a few more things real quick, guys. This is a quick episode. This is a bonus episode. We're not getting into a whole lot here. I just wanted to give you guys an update. So month of July was our best month ever. We collected 1.95 million in the month of July. So again, frame of reference, our best month before July, we did 1.34 million. So it was an absolute insane math. It was just one of those months where basically everyone was clicking on all cylinders. Now we're getting near the end of August. It does not look like August is going to be quite as good as July. It looks like we should finish around 175, 18, which is still significantly better than where we had been, coming into the summer. And I will say too, that is something that's hard for, and I'm sure it's hard for everyone, but like once you hit a new high, you kind of think that's the new norm and that's the new standard. And you try to like set that in your mind. So it is challenging when you kind of have an amazing month and you feel like you're taking a step back, but you've got to zoom out and look at the big picture. I mean, if we didn't hit 1.9, and obviously you guys know I wanted that $2 million month, but it's coming. We'll get there soon. But if we didn't hit 1.95 million in July and we had another 1.3, 1.4, whatever month like we had been doing recently, and all of a sudden in August we're, tracking for 175, I'd be pumped about it. But, unfortunately, because I was so zoomed in on the recency bias of what we did in July, it feels like we're sliding back here in August. So just some, mindset that I still have to work on, myself as we grow the group. What else was I going to tell you guys? Oh, so I am shifting gears here a little bit. And this is something I'm going to talk to my team about at our annual summit. If that episode hasn't aired already, look for it to come out soon. But our summit event where we talked to our entire team, I am going to talk to them about how we're shifting gears. We opened 6 practices in 6 months. I don't have any intention of doing that again. I'm not saying we won't open any more practices, but now I am really looking for those perfect situations. And I'm more looking to maybe do like 1 or 2, maybe at most 3 new practices in a year, because I want to shift more focus to same store growth. We got, even where the group's at right now, we should finish a little north of 16 million for 2025. If we don't open any new offices in 2026, we should easily break 20 million. So there's a lot of same store growth potential still out there. I think at our 10 office group, we can easily get this thing to 30 million over the next couple of years. So if I don't find the right opportunities, or if it doesn't make sense for us, we might not any more practices. At this point, I don't know. I'm open to different opportunities, but I am telling you guys, my plan is to slow down growth a little bit so we could focus on systemization, profitability, and same store growth. So we are taking a little bit of a breather in that regard. That is about it, Matt. Any other questions that you have for this episode?
No, I mean, like, I think you said it all. Like, I get asked all the time how you do things. Like every event, it opens up with, how does Dr. Vallo X? I think the number one thing is consistency. I mean, like your process is so consistent. That's what yields consistent results like this that are pretty amazing. Docs get into a gambler's mindset where they make a bet here, make a bet there, make a bet here, make a bet there. And then like something works and like, oh, which one worked? I don't know. You kind of worked through it. I think if you guys just rinse and repeat what Dr. Vallo talks about, you can end up having the same results. So yeah, we got to wrap this up. We have another episode we got to go to. Thank you guys for joining us. Please like, subscribe, and share. There's no sponsors. No one can pay to play to get on the show. We do this for the betterment of the community, and so people can hear kind of a very growth mindset. Thank you so much, guys, and have a great day.